Our city is out of control. And folks, there's a big mayoral election next week. Problem is, this city is so overwhelmingly Democratic, it looks like a total lunatic might be the next mayor. The Democrats, just about all of them, are out to lunch. Crazy ideas like taking the guns away from cops. Yes, this is actually being entertained. And one of these candidates doesn't even live in New York. It's a joke. On the Republican side, though, we got two good ones. They're characters, but I like them both, and they have a lot of experience. Curtis Sliwa and Fernando Mateo, both Republicans vying for the nomination next Tuesday. We spoke to both of them. Fernando Mateo, Republican, candidate for mayor of City of New York. First, you got to get that Republican nomination. Welcome to Newsmax.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Greg.
Curtis Sliwa, founder of the Guardian Angels, legendary New Yorker, currently the Republican candidate for mayor of the City of New York. Welcome back, Curtis. How are you?
Oh, thanks for giving us coverage. I know you're giving Fernando coverage, me coverage, because the mainstream media, it's like there's no Republican primary.
You bet, you bet. And by the way, Republicans have a history of winning mayoral elections. Mike Bloomberg, Rudy Giuliani, and who knows what could happen this year. So, as you know, crime is out of control in the city. What are you going to do about it?
Well, it harkens me back. In fact, tomorrow's the anniversary when I was shot 5 times with hollow point bullets on the orders of John Gotti Sr., the John Gotti Jr., and the Gambino crime family. Right before Rudy Giuliani was elected mayor, thank God, and he rescued the city because we were averaging like 2,000 murders a year, shootings. And so I'm going to go to the exact spot where the plan was hatched in Howard Beach, talk about that, but also talk about how we are beginning to get back to that time when David Dinkins was mayor and the streets were out of control, the subways were out of control, and you couldn't go through the parks at night. We need to recover that. And I'm the guy to do it for 42 years as leader of the Guardian Angels, both here in New York City and in 13 countries and 130 cities around the world. If there's one thing people know about Curtis Sliwa, it's law and order, public safety, quality of life, zero tolerance.
Crime is out of control in New York City. How would you fix it as mayor?
Bringing back Greg Kelly as police commissioner. I mean, what he did was for this city, no other commissioner has done. We had the best 20 years of leadership when he was commissioner of New York City. And I believe that his policies were very good for the city. People felt safe. Cops felt they had a leader leading them. And he needed no instructions from the mayor. I want a commissioner that needs no instructions, that knows what he's got to do, that believes that law and order is number one. And backing up our men and women in blue is the number one thing for me, making sure that they get the respect that they've lost over the last 8 years.
Well, Mr. Mateo, I think that is a great answer. I must say I appreciate that. How about the homelessness situation?
We need to take homelessness and the services that are provided to them away from government. Government does not know how to run a business, and running homeless shelters is a business. I would put it in the hands of the private sector. Business people that you can hold accountable, business people that can produce and give them the life that they deserve. Build the mental health facilities that are needed. A lot of these homeless people are mentally ill and they need help. They shouldn't be on our streets. They need to be put in mental institutions. And those that are homeless, we need to bring them to communities where they feel comfortable and where the community will embrace them. Right now, we have them in everyone's backyard. You don't put homeless shelters in your backyard. People don't want them, and they don't want to be there because they're not wanted. So we go to the industrial parks, and you build buildings with the billions we use every year to service them. We can build proper housing with mass transportation going through them to take the kids to school and the parents to work if they're working.
Homelessness is out of control. What's your plan for that?
Homelessness and the emotionally disturbed persons who need to be in mental health care facilities getting their medicine. You got to physically remove them from the streets, the subways, and the parks. This isn't crisis intervention where let me try to sweeten you up and convince you. They got to get off the streets. And for the homeless who don't have emotional issues, they'll probably have alcohol or drug issues. They've got to have programs in the shelters, which don't exist now. And these are lost souls. So I'm compassionate when it comes to that, to helping these lost souls. but I want to crack down on crime.
I know you ride the subway all the time. The city seems to be falling apart in terms of infrastructure plans.
Greg, I've seen you on the subways. You're a stand-up New York guy. Most of the other trend Deutsch Freakazoids are never on the subways. I just ran 20 blocks because the subway stopped in between stations. Curtis. I live in the subways. All the other candidates, maybe they take a photo op in the subway, but the way to remedy the subway crime situation is you got to flood it with more uniformed cops, and they got to actually ride the trains, go up and down from the last car to the front car. They're not doing that now.
Public transportation, make sure we have 2 cops in every subway station. Every subway station will be a safe haven for people looking for refuge. If you're in trouble and you feel you need help, we don't have a police precinct on every block, but we do have a train station every other block. So why not put police officers in the train stations and create a safe haven?
You founded the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers, and you're also the founder of the United Bodegas of America. Tell us how those 2 jobs have helped you get ready for your next challenge.
Well, I worked very closely with detectives and undercover police officers that were helping us find the criminals that were shooting the cab drivers. Cab drivers were being murdered 2 and 3 a week until we were able to get law and order, until we stood up and said we need partitions, we need cameras in every cab, and we want the city to pay for it. And you know what? Rudy Giuliani was the mayor back then, and we saw eye to eye, and he authorized the $5 million. So whenever you see a partition or a camera in a cab, I am responsible for that. I have worked closely with NYPD for 30 years. Bodega owners, they get looted every day. They get robbed. They get assaulted. Their bodegas become safe havens for people that need help. That's why I'm going to be the mayor.
A little bit on the personal side, you mentioned getting shot 5 times. The Gottis. How did you get him so mad at you? What happened?
By speaking the truth. You know, everyone else took the code of omerta when talking about John Gotti Sr. when he was on trial for the last time. Every day on WABC radio, I'd be talking about what a jadru, what a knuckle dragger this guy was. So he calls up his son and he goes, because he was listening in the morning before he had to go to trial. You make sure that guy never talks about us and the Gambinos and the Gottis again. So naturally, his son, John Gotti Jr., said, yeah, Dad. And they tried to kill me 2 separate times. The worst one was with the 5 hollow point bullets.
Yeah, and you're not afraid to make fun of the mob.
No, not at all. Took a lick in and came back. I tell you what, though, the one part of me that a lot of people don't know, I live in a 328 square foot studio with a turlet and 15 rescue cats.
Fernando Mateo, Republican candidate for mayor of New York City. Primary day is June 22nd.
Are we done?
I'm sorry.
I'm just getting warmed up here. I'm just getting warmed up.
Come back when you win the nomination. Good luck and thank you.
Oh, you got to go to CurtisSliwaForMayor.com to learn more. CurtisSliwaForMayor.com. Maybe you'll see all 15 names of my rescue cats.
The mayor of New York City gets to live in Gracie Mansion. It's a great big house. Curtis would not have to live in that small apartment. We'll see what happens. The primary is Tuesday. Be right back.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.